I'm recording because somebody's just turning off my video. And I'm recording because I feel pretty good today. I'm just a little bit of a headache because I believe that I've been lazed on my brain. They try to laze my brain all night. Somebody somewhere's doing lazing. But I've had no problems with my stomach today. And it's already going on 3 o'clock, which is pretty good. That's all day long. And, you know, I'm recording. It's terrible to record your health. You know, but when you're older, you're like, okay, first you record certain things, and then you record, you know, silly things, and then you talk about your health, because it's a topic of conversation lately with me. But I want to indicate this. The water in the kitchen is not very good water. And I don't know where AJ Construction, he built the kitchen for us in Castle Rock, Colorado. He's a company that does remodeling and in home construction. And so their name is AJ Construction in Castle Rock, Colorado. And I'm not sure where they filtered the water into the refrigerator and into the kitchen. And it's just horrible. The water that's filtering into the refrigerator just smells horrible. And it causes the ice that's being developed also to have a horrible smell. So I don't use it, and I don't know, it was his construction guys that hooked up the refrigerator ice maker. And so why they did it to not pre-test it, and it has nothing to do with the filter. I mean, the filter should filter out things from the water, but it's not designed to change the water that's going into the refrigerator 100%. It's supposed to function as a filter. But something is wrong with that water that's being funneled into the kitchen sink and into the refrigerator. And so I had to boil over the weekend, since they claimed I had the stomach flu, and I think it's something else. And I'll get to that in a minute. Is I boiled the water and drank boiled water. And the water in the bathroom tastes fresh. It's not like the kitchen water or the water that's going into the refrigerator, the water in the bathroom sink. It's much fresher. Well, last night I heard a lot of water being drained from the house, and I don't know what was being drained. But I heard a lot of the water being drained. And so my thought process was, did they connect wastewater to the refrigerator? Rather than having the wastewater drain out, it's draining into the fridge and then being used to make ice and for the water machine on the refrigerator. And I think that's what AJ did. AJ Construction, his worker, did. And I can't, you know, there's no explanation on why it's just filthy water and the smell is horrible coming from the refrigerator. And if I were my son, I'd call him, I'd text him to say, did they put the wastewater into the kitchen and into the fridge? That would be horrible. So I'm going to assume, and I haven't been sick over I don't drink the refrigerator water and never had a problem. And at the beginning, didn't have a problem with the kitchen water. So, you know, I've not been sick in 2 years. I don't get the stomach flu. I don't get sick or nothing. And so I don't know if somebody came back to the house and altered the water exchange. I can't confirm that. And it needs to be a plumber that be able to check it. But anyhow, so I didn't get, I've never been sick, but I'm very conscientious of the water and have bought water filters and so forth. So I'm going to drink some water from the bathroom sink, which seems to be clear water, tastes fine. And I noticed that I ate without a problem today, no problems with my stomach, all day today, no problems. And, terrible. Everything is normal. And so I want to drink some of this water tap water from the bathroom. sink, and it's very clear, and it tastes it's nice and cold the way it should be coming from the sink. And so I don't want it to be as an excuse, and I'll get to the point I'm getting at, to have individuals laze the bowels in order to create a forced bowel as the water's being plugged into my body to cause dehydration. And that is doable through lasers, because lasers can be used to move objects, and they, I believe, were being used to force the bowel movements. And unbelievable, I know. It's and I recorded this earlier on Facebook. I made a notation about it earlier, that they were using lasers to force the bowels at such a fast speed that it didn't allow it to solidify the way it's supposed to through the normal process, through the large intestine to the small intestine, and then through the colon. And if they are being pushed and forced out of the intestines at a high rate, then what happens is it doesn't have the normal timeline to process, and your bowels are made up of water and the food substance waste to cause that normal texture of bowel movements. And I'm trying to stay as clean as I can to talk about the topic, because that's, it's a normal process of your body, but it's important to communicate what I'm getting at. So what's happening is, if they force the bowels to move through the intestines by lasing the bowels remotely, and I posted some videos on Facebook to show how that process is used to move objects. Lasers are used to move objects through gas and air, and pushing the air, and if you put particles in the air and somebody inhales it, it builds gas and additional air in the body. And if they're releasing that through the air condition, then their body's going to swell, because it has particles and pushed air into the body, causing inflammation. And I don't want to get into all the technicals. It is unbelievable, but yet technologically capable of what they are doing today in terms of lasers. Well, if they add air into your body and in the intestines and the bowels, and then they use lasers to forcefully move the bowels through the large intestine, then the small intestines, and then out the colon, leading to diarrhea if it's forced, because it does not allow the appropriate amount of time for the body to break down the waste in the body and mix with water to solidify, become solid, a soft solid in the body, and then the additional body is sustained, the additional water is sustained in the body to keep its nutrition, and it gets absorbed by the body, the water. But if it's forced, what's happening is all the nutrients in your body are being pushed out the large intestines into the small intestine and out the colon at such a rapid pace that it does not allow solidifying the bowels. And then you have diarrhea. And if that happens every time you're putting something in your body, which mine was, coincidentally, then that is creating an atmosphere of leading your body to lacking nutrients and also dehydration. And that they do that in the body. So, lasers are being used experimentally on the human body unbeknown to people. I believe that. And there has got to be mechanisms in place that are going to prevent abuse of what they are doing to human beings with lasers today. And I believe that if that is a process also that technology was being used in order to stage, and it sounds terrible, the connection from one to the other, military operations, each time a person goes to the bathroom and they stage some kind of military operation. You know, I question who in an atmosphere of medical and technological are integrating into a capacity where it's abusing individuals and also pushing the limits of the physical body by incorporating a technology that they're under research or experiment. I believe that people have crossed that line to such a great degree. Now, I feel great right now, and I have been wisely replenishing my body with nutrients. As today, I'm completely fine. Don't have any problems with my stomach today, and I'm going to drink some of this water. And I question. It's like somebody's clicking the bell, ding, 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 opportunity, opportunity. It's not an opportunity to start lazing the bowels. It is not. And, your body is made up of water. It is. But the water affects the liver, your kidneys, your intestines, your stomach, your whole body. And your body is designed as a normal process. And when that is being impeded by an outside source to take advantage of a capability or technology and then use it for another application such as military operations, there's a problem with that. There's a huge problem with that. So I believe that my circumstances was not really the stomach flu. I believe that somebody was using lasers to force the bowel movements and through the intestines, large intestine, small intestine, and out the colon in such a rapid pace that it didn't allow my bowels to function normally and get solid the way it should. And for the purpose of staging military operations. And that sounds outrageous. It does. But I believe that they are doing that. And I'm going to say it again. I don't have a problem with my bowels. Never have. In fact, it was very surprising. And they might have used the stomach flu as an excuse to use that technology and get away with it and try to claim it's the stomach flu. And so, medical professions, there is such an element in an environment that there just needs to be some oversight in who's doing what in the medical profession. And never an invasion of privacy and spyware. I do not authorize anyone. I made that very clear. I recorded earlier about that they need to stop the spyware stuff. And so, hard to imagine. And, trying to stage, and even if it was trying to bring harm to me, to try to force me into a hospital because of dehydration, when in reality, that wasn't the case. And I'm just recording. And I want to make sure that, when you start pushing the envelopes of invasion of privacy and putting measures in place to try to remove an individual, that their privacy has been invaded because you don't want to admit that you've invaded their privacy, and more importantly, you're trying to bring them harm, I hope that's not the case in my situation. I hope it's not.